wasn't even the sports version, but this thing was fast. The topic is manifestation. My dream car is a Tesla Y model in red. Why? It's big. Listen, I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'2", so I need that leg room. It's electric. The idea of a silent car, I don't know what it is, but it's just a dream to me to have just a car that just drives smooth. Like even driving a Tesla is so quiet, it's so smooth. I can just hear my audiobook perfectly.
For a nickel, a couple of us children would buy it. Can't.
And it's fast. Listen, I don't want to get overtaken anymore. I'm sick and tired of people overtaking my Corsa. With the Tesla, nobody's overtaking me. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, or 4 seconds. 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. That's unbelievable. Now, how was it? The dealership shut at 5 PM. I got there at 4:45. I was late because my maps was sending me all over the place. Anybody who's local to me, in West Bridgford it's quite strange because I've never actually been there before and there's a lot of one-way streets, so I just found myself getting mixed up with the direction. When I did eventually get there, there's a desk in the middle of the room and there's just like 5 people sat down in this desk in the middle of the room, and there's windows everywhere and there's nothing inside this room except the desk. This is like the entrance to the Tesla dealership. Other than them, sat in this small desk in the middle of the room, there's a few Teslas dotted around, but it's just like, I don't know, it's strange. I approached the desk, leaning more towards the guy on the very left side, I don't know why. Jonathan, he asks. That's me, I exclaim. I felt pretty bad that I'd got there so late and I wasn't actually sure if they was going to let me drive the car, because you got to think, if the dealership shuts in 30 minutes and I get there 15 minutes before it closes, I thought there was just going to be all punctual and policy on me saying like, oh, like it's going to shut soon, you have to come back another day. He asks to check my passport. I'm kind of suspicious because I'm like, is it not too late? But I don't mention anything. He checks my passport. All good, he says. Come with me, I'll show you the car. He takes me to the car. It's a red one. My dream Tesla is red and I'm about to drive a red Tesla. It's around the 1 in 5 chance, but the fact I didn't ask and it turned out to be a red Tesla is just, it just did it for me. This is the colour I want, I told him. He smiled. He shows me this credit card looking thing and then says that this is what I opened the door with. I was thinking, is there not a key or anything? Just a card? But he showed me how to operate it. You just swipe the card and it beeps. Same situation with the Tesla. You just swipe this credit card thing on the side of a card in a certain way and it just pops open. Technology, right? He then spends about 15 minutes masterminding me on how the car works. I was just looking at him puzzled as he just went through all of how the user interface works and how the car drives and how, because it's automatic, it runs completely differently to a manual car. And I was just thinking like I hope he stays with me when I'm doing this test drive, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
What's the first thing you do?
1924?
In that moment, I couldn't help but think I probably should have watched a video on how these things run before I came here. He types in this address, which is like 15-minute drive from the dealership. When you get there, just type in the Tesla dealership, come back, and I'll wait for you. Enjoy. Damn, I thought. He's got a lot of trust in me driving this car.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
I even told him I'd never driven an automatic before, but his face looked really nonchalant. Like he told me all this information, and then the trust he had in me, that I even retained any of it, is just, I don't know. As for how it actually drives, spacious, intuitive user interface, and so fast. The thing is, they actually capped it at 87 miles per hour, which is probably for the better, because I'm pretty sure these things go to about 140 miles per hour, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. Versus my 0 to 60 in about 25 seconds with my Corsa. Unbelievable difference. Obviously, because it's electric, there was no engine noise, so I could just hear my audiobook clear as day. And obviously, like the surround sound in the stereo system is crisp, and like you expect that, but the silence due to the lack of engine noise was just, it was such an immersive experience. In fact, going back a little bit, they actually asked me if I wanted to keep the car overnight. I don't know what it was what hit home for me on that, because in my head I approached the dealership with a lot of biases. Like even when I was approaching the 5 people sat in a chair, because they were all right, I thought I was going to like get treated in a way where I'd leave with like a bitter taste in my mouth, but they were They were all so cool, and they just made me feel normal and valued. Like even after the whole experience, I was asking me like how I planned to pay for one of them, and like if I wanted to buy it now or buy it later. And I was just like, man, you trust me to be buying it right in this moment? Like, I don't know, it was just that trust for me, and that feeling of just feeling normal in that moment was just, it was really appreciated. I had work the next day, so it didn't happen in the end. One thing that actually really shocked me, I don't know if this is weird, but the fact that the car has a battery percentage just like how an iPhone does is literally like driving the equivalent of an iPhone. Throughout the whole drive, I went for about 30 minutes in the end. The battery maybe went down about 5 or 6%, so it's just like, people say the car doesn't last as long as it says it does, like the range is like 380 miles, and people say it doesn't last that long, but it's like, just charge it up here and there like you do your phone. Like, you don't expect your even if the car lasted 2 days off a full charge, like just charge it like just charge it routinely like you would a phone, and you'd be fine. Like, it's just the little things that you appreciate, like the level of craftsmanship and attention to detail is just, I don't know, it's super cool. You got to think the car I'm driving right now is just bog standard. There's not any special features, so to see and experience these special features, like it is just, I don't know what it is about it. Why did I even go out my way to drive my dream car, you might be thinking? Well, laws of manifestation are that having encounters with the things you want is beneficial, because now you've actually seen it, felt it, experienced it. Visualization of it is going to be a lot easier because you've already been there, you know what I mean? So it's like normalizing the things you want now so you can secure them in the future. The term psychologically is force future self method. Also, it reaffirms intention too. Intention is the act of choosing what you want. Desire is the act of wishing for what you want.
I wish SpongeBob were here to see this!
See the difference? When you're desiring what you want, what you're actually doing is telling yourself and telling the universe you don't actually feel like you deserve that thing, so you push it away.
No more suffering, no more sighing, no more pain and no more crying. When you throw all your dreams down the well.
And then slightly digressing, to focus on what you don't want is to choose to have more of the very thing you're trying to avoid. So like an analogy here, say my iPhone's right here, it's right next to me, and I rarely want to pick up my iPhone and use it, and I desire it so strongly to pick up my iPhone. Me desiring it is not picking it up, versus I'm going to choose to pick up my iPhone, and then so I picked it up. It's not desire that made me pick up my phone, it's intention. Desire kind of sets the intention, but it's intention that actually does the thing. So you can sit here and desire things all day, but it's the intention that moves you forward. Anyway, Elon, it's a yes from me. And I want one of them Cybertrucks.